Alright, so I'm just getting ready to head out to my friend's wedding, but I thought I'd just make a quick video here. Lately, a lot of people have been misusing language, and it's really frustrating for me because basically what you're doing is you're crying wolf when you do stuff like that. The big thing now is to tell everybody that they are literally Hitler, or they are so totally actual Nazis. The truth of the matter is there are still actually Nazis out there. There are people who ascribe to the nationalist, socialist, I don't know, I guess you'd call it an ideology, I call it a mythology. And the problem is that when you make these kinds of statements about everybody, like Trump is Hitler, Trump is a Nazi, you end up delegitimizing when somebody like me is trying to call out actual Nazis. Now, there are some people who strongly dislike this white nationalist movement, and I'm one of them. I'm not a huge fan of white nationalists, and I'll tell you why. The truth of the matter is, they don't really need a nationalism for white people. White people are the dominant cultural paradigm. White people actually control everything. As much as they don't like the fact that other people are now starting to basically achieve their human rights, the truth of the matter is, white people are still at the apex of the pyramid. So, kind of don't really take them very seriously when I hear things like white genocide and, oh, the white people are in so much trouble and people are killing white people everywhere. No, just no. All right? But then by the same token, the left wing, who I believe is actually much more problematic because they hide their anti-Semitism and their racism and soft bigotry of low expectation behind the language of human rights. They say stuff like, we just want everyone to be the same. And my personal favorite is they have this chant now, all of us or none of us, which is bullshit. Because you know what? My people, I'm pretty sure that we're totally okay with achieving our self-determination, even if it doesn't mean that every single other person in the world gets self-determination. The truth of the matter is, I don't really care if former colonizers who stole other people's ancestral land achieve self-determination. I don't. I'm sorry. I know it sounds terrible, but you know what? The Arabs had several chances to have a nation of their own. Nobody ever gave us those chances. Nobody ever said, hey, let's negotiate, let's come up with a good way to make Canada what it was supposed to be in the first place. And I'm supposed to feel sorry for people who had like a state given to them on a friggin' platter several times and denied it? No. Just no. So, I want you guys to understand, I want you to think about this for a minute. Think about the language you use. Think about the importance of choosing your words carefully, and stop giving away your struggle to other people. I'm an Indigenous person. Now, if I say that I support the rights of all Indigenous people all over the world, that's one thing. But if I start saying, well, such and such, I stand in solidarity with them, I better know that they're Indigenous. I better know that those are people with a legitimate and valid struggle. I better not be just giving my credibility to people who don't deserve it. And I'll tell you what, I don't call people Nazis unless they're actually fucking Nazis. Because you just don't do that. When you start making everybody into a Nazi, it means nobody's a Nazi. And I happen to firmly believe that there are still Nazis out there. And I happen to believe that there are spiritual Nazis in the Middle East who want to accomplish the exact same thing that the Nazis were trying to do in the 1940s. So, yeah, you know what? Some of you guys need to start thinking a little bit more about what you actually say, and more importantly, how you say it. So, that's my last video for a couple days.